We here at Mayhem Media
understand the trials and tribulations of life.
No matter how hard life can get.
Suicide is never the answer.
There's more assistance available today than ever before.
If you or a loved one are suffering from suicidal thoughts, please don't try and take it on alone.
Call or text 988 if you live in the U.S.
Or if you're in Great Britain, call 116123 or text 85258.
The world is a better place with you in it.
Hey, yo, everyone. Welcome back to Mayhemtainment. This is episode 83, and I have with me the grappling god, Titan Troy. He is he's a current reigning three-time with three different companies, tag team champion, American Pro Wrestling, one half of American Pro Wrestling tag team champions, one half of Route 33 tag team champions, and one half of Extreme Valley Wrestling tag team champions. Welcome to Mayhemtainment, Titan Troy.
Thanks for having me. I was excited when Brox told me about this, and I was looking forward to it all week.
Good. I appreciate that very much, and it's great to have you on. I always like showcasing indie wrestlers and letting them get a chance to get on camera and talk about themselves and tell their stories, and hopefully you get more bookings and more dates. You know, that's the whole goal here. So, and hopefully we get plenty of views along with it. So now you're one half of Grappling Inc.
Yes, sir.
And that's with Brox Boulder, who we just had on 2 weeks ago. So it's great. At first, I didn't realize it up until just a few minutes ago when we were about to shoot this, that Titan Troy was Brox Boulder's tag partner. So it's pretty awesome that we're getting you on here just this close after having him. Now we got to get you both on the same episode. That's what I'll work on next time.
Oh, that would be a blast. Me and him have a lot of fun on podcasts.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to keep working with you guys with Aftermath Pro and Brox Boulder and showcase as many of you guys as I can here. So we like to help indie wrestling. It's, it helps wrestling. When all wrestling does better, it helps the sport as a whole. This tribalism where one company should succeed and another company shouldn't is just nonsense. If everybody does better, it gets better for everybody. And that's why I like doing indie stuff and letting people like you and Brox Boulder and Austin Diamond, the Diamonds, they're our brand ambassadors for Mayhem Media. So, I love getting into the indie scene and giving you guys a chance. So let's talk about you. So how long have you been a wrestler? So
I started about 6 years ago. Same day one with Brox Boulder. We went to a company, FTC Auto Grappling. And we started with Jillian Hall, and later, a few months after that, Jillian Hall and Bobby Blaze. It was in Ironton, Ohio, based out of Ironton, Ohio, and I would drive an hour from home, from where I live, to training every Tuesday and Thursday. And it's just been really awesome to do the past 6 years, and actually now being a part of Aftermath Pro and helping new students and new people getting into professional wrestling has just been really amazing the last 6 years.
Okay, 6 years or so. That's great. Can I ask how old you are?
I am 26.
26. You're a child yet. All right. So, So 6 years. So you started when you were 20. Were you a fan of wrestling prior to that?
Absolutely. I grew up watching it with my grandpa. I started about when I was 6 years old. I remember, sitting on that. There's always this one long carpets in every grandparent's house, and I'd sit there, TV up top right above my head, and I was watching Monday Night Raw and SmackDown with him every Monday, Friday, didn't matter what day it was, but I would watch it with him.
Yeah. So you were a WWE fan. I guess that's really WWE was really probably one of the only things around at that time, right?
That's the only thing I knew at the time. WCW was already out. So WWE was my sole wrestling content. And then when I spent about 13, I discovered like Ring of Honor, TNA.
Yeah. Do you have or is there? I don't want to. I mean, do you have a favorite wrestler? But then, is there a wrestler that kind of inspired you to get into wrestling?
I think it was a amalgamation of a lot of them. I've always liked the Kurt Angles and the Eddie Guerreros, and the Dean Malenkos in wrestling, where they could do anything with anyone in the ring. The mat wrestlers, yes, and I like my style is very mat based. I know I may not be the biggest guy, but when I'm on, everyone's the same size on the mat.
Yeah. That's what Brox was telling us about you too, that you're a grappler and that you're one of the best that he's ever seen. And that's what we got into the same conversation about the Dean Malenkos, the Eddie Guerreros, the Chris Benoits, the guys who could really, the Kurt Angles, the guys who could really get on the mat and wrestle, put on a real legitimate wrestling match. And those were always some of my favorite matches. Not everything. I don't need to see everybody going to the top rope or springboard. Yeah, they're exciting. Of course, they're exciting spots. But they can't be the only thing you do. Like I think a match card should have some of those high spots. You can have a quick match or two, but you need to have one of those, 20, 30 minute, just grind out matches. I think that's one of the things that I enjoy about wrestling is watching real mat technicians get in there and reversal after reversal after reversal, but it looks so seamless and fluid that, it's just perfect. And we don't get to see as much of that in the mainstream wrestling. And that's why one of the things I tell people to encourage people to go check out indie wrestling, because I think you get to see a little bit of that, at least in the indie scene. And at least if nothing else, Titan Troy.
Yeah. There's a lot of mainstream, very rarely. There may be one match every 6 months that has that real on the mat, hard hitting physicality matches, and it's not too much physicality where it's I'm getting tired of it's making me sick, but it's these guys hate each other. These guys are really going at it, and those are the ones I always liked. Like the last match, the most recent match that I've seen that I really enjoyed, funny enough, was El Grande Mayhemtainment versus El Grande Mayhemtainment, which is an amazing match.
A lot of people are talking about that match. I didn't.
That's amazing.
See it, but they said that it was one of the best matches. That it could be the match of the decade candidate, is what I've been hearing and what I've been seeing about it. So
it's very good.
I think that showed the fact that people are going crazy with that match. I think should show wrestling promoters what people actually want to see, not just a good story, but they want to see a good match. Yeah. And can you put on a good match without the grappling, the style that you put on? We know you can have a good match with just like the Dean Malenkos, what you do, the mat style wrestling. We know because we that's what we enjoy. But do you think, can you have a good match without that?
Sure. I think anyone can have a good match doing something out of their style, if done correctly. I'm not a big fan of like a big guy, the David and Goliath matches. I'm not entirely a big fan of them, but if done right, they are really good.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of a lot of high flying stuff, but if you get two guys who know what they're doing and they can put something together, it's really good matches. And I think if any style works, if you know when to do something and when not to do something.
I think I've been hearing a lot of that from people too. I think that's going to be starting to become more prevalent, is, getting back to what's appropriate and what's not appropriate for the match, for the story you're telling. Not every match needs to be a knockdown, drag out, bloodbath. You know, if the story warrants it, then have that.
Yes, and there's some people they want to do the no DQ matches and stuff like that. And there's some no DQ matches that are amazing, and there's others they go too far, and that kind of takes me away from it. I don't want that.
Yeah. I think when you get too hardcore, that's where, I mean, there's obviously a group of wrestling fans that like that. I mean, ECW wouldn't have existed if those fans didn't exist. So, but it's a smaller fan base than what I think the majority of people want to see. Although if you look at AEW and WWE right now, based on their two products, they're two totally different products. So I think trying to box wrestling fans into one thing, and that's what a wrestling show is supposed to be, right? It's supposed to have a little something that appeals to everybody.
Yeah, so go ahead.
No, please go ahead.
Like I said, there was a lot of styles and preferences in everybody. I'm not necessarily a comedy guy, but there's some guys that do the comedy kind of stuff in wrestling, and I love watching them.
Yeah. I'm a huge R-Truth and Danhausen fan. I don't know if that's who you were talking about, but that's
those guys are killing it. At Route 33, there's a guy. There's a guy there, John D. Crazy Hillbilly. He's a funny guy.
Oh yeah,
but he's amazing, and I enjoy watching his matches.
Yeah, exactly. That's what a good card has a little bit of everything. You got to have some comedy, something to laugh at, some good drama matches, something to pull the people in. I think that's, wrestling promoters really need to get to, making those cards a little more balanced and stuff, even on the indie shows. But everything I'm hearing is that indie shows are overall better than anything that's on television right now anyway. So, and I don't get to see a lot of indie wrestling around here. There is only one here, one major one in central Pennsylvania or in Pennsylvania, and they're not really even in my area. They're kind of to the west a little bit. So I don't get to see much indie wrestling. That's why I always say, what are your thoughts on indie wrestlers, yourself included, doing with social media and stuff today? Shouldn't indie wrestling companies and wrestlers themselves be putting out content on their social media platforms?
I think they should. I'm really bad at it. Me and Brock especially is trying to do TikToks and stuff just to have fun.
Yeah.
There's in my opinion, there's a line where people are doing content just for the sake of, people will watch it. And then there's the content where it's just fun to watch. People like Jack Vaughn, he made a pretty good career out of it, but he's having fun with that content. And then I've seen other people, they just try to recreate that. I would rather you just have fun with the videos you're making, and getting yourself out there on social media than trying to make the algorithm work for you.
Yeah. And that's definitely good advice. Don't always try it. There's other ways to work the algorithm than trying to recreate content that's already out there. Because I know I have to do that stuff. So I have to work the algorithm, and I don't like putting on that crap content that you're talking about.
Yeah.
We're going to be getting into TikTok, but it'll just be for clips from our episodes to try and draw people to the full episodes. I think there's too much of that 1 minute content out there in the world these days. Yeah. I think these types of conversations where you can sit and talk to someone is more, you get more out of it than you will a 1 minute clip.
Yeah. So, those little shorts on TikTok is great. That way, he said this in a question. What else did he say on that interview? I enjoy those. That's pretty much where I get most of my content. I see a video from Chris Van Vliet. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna check out that interview, and I enjoy him.
Yep, absolutely. That's how I found Joe Rogan at first. Was I started seeing just little clips of his, and I'm like, whoa, I want to see. Wait, that's not enough of that conversation. I need to see more of that conversation. So I went and looked up for the episode. So yeah. That's what I think that's where it can be used. Use your, make small clips out of your longer content. But anyway, back to you in wrestling. That's what we're talking about. So do you think, like Aftermath Pro, you're associated with Aftermath Pro. You guys are going to be getting ready to put on shows soon. Are you going to be putting those online? Are you going to be filming them and then putting them online?
So yes, we have an amazing commentary team, and they do the editing and putting it on Doc's Wrestling Library, and they do phenomenal work. And so our first show, well, our next upcoming show is June 13th. We'll be in Flatwoods, Kentucky, at a comic and toy convention. So I'm excited for that. And
Yeah,
they're going to be there with the cameras and recorded the whole show, and we'll put it out for people to see. So yeah, and I'm excited for that.
Yeah, good. I think more indie companies need to do that. I get you want people to come to your shows, but when you're a small little company, you need to draw people in. You need to let people know you exist, and people don't go out much anymore. You know, it's a different world, so you have to adapt to that. People aren't just going to the fairs and to the small venues and stuff. You got to showcase what you have and get people up and to your shows if you want them to. So, and I think the best way to do that is to showcase some of your wrestling, like to show what kind of matches you put on and stuff. So that's this Saturday, June 13th. That's Aftermath Pro's next wrestling event card.
Yep.
And are you on it?
Yes, I am.
All right. And who are you wrestling?
I am facing the prize fighter, Ken Jenkins. Obviously, card subject to change, but as of right now, I'm taking on Ken Jenkins.
Card always subject to change with indie shows. That is one thing you got to be flexible with some last minute changes occasionally. So, but that's great that you're on the show. I'm surprised. I was expecting you to say that you and Brox were going to be tagging.
As of right now, we are not, but that's because in our area, it's very hard to find a tag team that fits Aftermath's style, or
Gotcha.
or maybe they just ain't the best idea. But
yeah, gotcha.
But it's also good to spread out. It's also good to spread out some of the experience. Singles or tag, Brox and I, we do well. We're entertaining, which are entertaining either way. Sometimes we have no choice but to do singles matches, or obviously card subject to change.
Yeah, absolutely, of course. And I have no doubt that you and Brox will put on great matches, even in singles. Do you have a preference? Do you prefer singles to tags, or what? Do you like both?
I really like doing tag matches because they're so niche. The very few people actually understand the concept of a tag team match. It's not just not a singles match with two extra guys. There's so many moving parts to it that it's its own kind of style. Like I said, there's everyone's got different styles, and I think tag team wrestling is me and Brox's bread and butter.
Yeah. I'm also a tag team wrestling fan. So not that I prefer tag team wrestling. Singles matches are great also, but there's, like you said, there's something special. And I've always been a fan of the 6 and 8 man tags as well. I know that they have the tendency, they kind of have to break down at some point. You get, you 10 or 12 minutes, and then you have to have everybody beating everybody to get to a finish. But I think it's fun to see all, 8 guys, standing in the corner opposite each other. I think that's a cool sight to see too. So I'm a big fan of tag team wrestling as well. In fact, when WCW tried to eliminate their tag division back in the late 90s, me and my friends were always talking. I'm like, I don't see how you have a wrestling company. Like, how do you do without a tag division? I think tag teaming is so important to wrestling. I don't see how you can't just get rid of it. So you prefer tag teams?
Yeah.
Okay, great. And you and Brox got to make a good team. You being a grappler, Brox, isn't he a little bit more of a power guy?
He is. But the good thing about me and Brox, for one, we start at the same time, so that chemistry is there. Like you train together, you do all this, you travel together. That chemistry is something that a lot of tag teams don't have, and that's something you absolutely need. Yeah. We also have the same kind of mindset, business-wise, if anything, but also just meant like psychology. We kind of think the same about 90% of things, which
Yeah.
is it's always kind of the backlash of when I do a podcast after he does, because a lot of the questions, if they're the same questions, they might be the same answer.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure that a few of them probably have been similar answers already. But that's you're still a different person though, so we still get to ask the question,
Right.
even if it's the same answer.
But we really like the tag team stuff because we have the chemistry and the mindset to do so. I just think that's what makes us like top tier, at least in this area.
I think tag teams, some of the best tag teams that I would say have been ones that have some chemistry and can play off each other and do the kind of things that you're talking about. So I think, you could put two singles guys together and just create a random tag team, but they won't flourish without having some chemistry themselves, or wanting to being able to work together in a way that's beyond the normal, because a tag team does, as you were saying, requires that kind of extra level of I don't know what's the word I'm looking for, like understanding, trust, the chemistry between you and the other person. That's more important sometimes with tag teams. At least tag teams would want any longevity out of it, a good long tag team. Do you have a favorite tag team? Yeah, I like to throw random weird questions.
That one's tough.
So.
That one's tough because there's no like one tag team that was like, oh, they're the best thing ever. They've always had this. There's so many different. Yeah, there's so many different tag teams that me and Brock's even like idolized growing up. Like we was a big fan of D-Generation X and the Dudleys and the Hardys. It's really hard to find just that one tag team.
Well, there is a right answer for the best tag team ever. I just want to point that out. There is a right answer. There's lots of great tag teams. Some of my favorite, like I was a WCW guy, so some of my favorites were the Steiner brothers when they were together. Harlem Heat with Booker T and Stevie Ray. They were probably my favorite tag team in WCW was Booker T and Stevie Ray. I always loved seeing them have the tag belts. I always wanted them to get bigger, like longer reigns. I wanted, I mean? Like I wanted them to see them get, like an 8-month reign or a year reign sometimes, but we never got those super long ones in WCW. And the right answer, by the way, for the best tag team of all time is Legion of Doom. Okay, if you don't understand that, I'm gonna have to kick you off the show right now.
I enjoyed Legion of Doom.
Yeah. They're a little before your time, so it's okay that you're not maybe not as super familiar with them.
Hey, Bobby Blaze always told me what's old is new, so I watch all the old stuff, and that's how I learn new things.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially you want to make wrestling better or bring it back to what people really loved about it. Go watch some 80s and 90s wrestling. That's when it was starting to get to its peak and its peak. So if you want wrestling to get back to it, get back and look at what they were doing and stuff. So yeah, absolutely. And yeah, Legion of Doom. I was always a huge Legion of Doom fan. So I mean, I guess it's the painted face because my favorite wrestler is Sting too. So it must have been the painted faces. I think I just like the concept of making your face look different. You know what I mean? So that must be what it is, because I just thought about that. Legion of Doom's my favorite tag team and Sting's my favorite singles guy. So, and they both are face painters.
That might be it. You might just like face paint.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Yeah. Though I wasn't a Warrior fan. No comment on that one. That's okay. We'll move on. Where can we get one of those shirts?
This is a very old shirt, but I do have new ones. I need to order more, but I have like a Teen Titans based one. We have a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Grappling Inc shirt at our local wrestling venues.
That's where you sell your shirts when you're at the shows and aftermath.
Oh, at the shows, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yep. You guys got to get a storefront so that people can buy that shirt. It's a cool shirt.
We're in the process of getting some stuff together. hopefully. But as
Well,
of right
and you know
now,
what?
go
You
ahead.
let Brock know that if you guys something falls through or whatever your plan is falling through, you hit me up and we'll get you guys taken care of. All right.
Absolutely.
I'm on top of it because I have my own storefront. It's on the top of the screen for everybody watching right now. You see, you love my segue, right to my
Yeah,
storefront.
hey.
From your gear to my gear.
It's
Bonfire.
business.
Absolutely. Bonfire.com/store/Mayhem Media Shop. Go pick up some apparel there, including Austin and Scott Diamonds, the Diamond Cartel. We have their exclusive rights to their apparel on our storefront. So go pick some up and wear it proudly because the Diamonds are awesome wrestlers. Scott Diamond's a 4-time Hall of Famer. So get yourself a t-shirt. It's the first time he's ever had a t-shirt with his likeness on it. So go to the storefront and pick one up. Back to you now, Troy. So you got the show coming up this weekend on June 13th. Let me plug it again. What's the name of it?
It's just in Flatwoods, Kentucky. It's at the Flatwoods Toy and Comic Festival.
Okay, the Toy and Comic Festival. I remember them. You guys sharing that out on the page and stuff. So I want to share it out on the Mayhem page, but I can't seem to see your guys' post. It's weird. I'm trying to figure that out, so that way I can start sharing out your Aftermath Pro stuff. So June 13th, do you have another show? I know you guys are just starting out, so I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but do you have another date that we can shout out, whether it's for you wrestling or for Aftermath Pro?
I got tons of dates
Well, plug away,
coming
man.
up. It's a
Put
lot
your
of
calendar
them.
up. You mean
I know I'll be in this Friday. I'll be in Richland, Virginia, and then gosh, I got drawn a blank on a lot of my dates. I'm gonna post a lot of the dates out.
So where can they
coming
find
up?
You're on Facebook?
I'm on Facebook. I also have a Titan Troy page itself on Facebook, as well as I have Instagram, the Grappling God Titan Troy. I have a Twitter, but I'm also terrible at social media, so I never get on it.
I hate Twitter. I have a Twitter too, and I never post on it. It's so, man, it's just all right. Let's not talk about social media. But I'm with you. You and I are of a similar mind in that. It's not that. I mean, it's not that I'm bad at it. It's just that I hate it so much. But so yeah, go check out Titan Troy on Instagram and Facebook, so that way you can see his upcoming dates and stuff. And if I can figure out some of the problems that I'm having with seeing people's pages, then I will also share out those dates and stuff, especially for Aftermath Pro. New company, we want them to start out, and they are way ahead of the curveball. Let me just shout you out, Titan Troy and the Aftermath Pro guys. The Aftermath Pro crew, because I've had Brock's Boulder on, I've had Titan Troy on, and we've also been talking not just in the episode. These guys are way ahead of the curve in the indie scene right now. Okay, they are way ahead of the curve. Okay, you heard them talking about the commentary team. Brock's Boulder said the same thing about the commentary team. They have a commentary team. Okay, that's the point that I'm trying to make there, is that they have a commentary team. That puts them ahead. Okay, they're already planning to put their content online. Already puts them ahead of 50% of all the other indie companies that exist in the country, because none of them want to be on social media. None of them want to share their full matches, or they don't have the capability, maybe. But I think at this point, it's necessity. So they have a commentary team. They have plans and already have started putting their shows online so that people can find them. Okay. Now let's talk about their venue. They have a venue to run their own shows. And I think that is probably also, in addition to doing social media and putting your matches on there, having your own venue is a huge, huge thing, because then you don't need to worry about paying money for this and for that. And now it works for them because they have a school, so they're running a business out of it too. But having your own venue means you don't have to go, and what happens if this venue doesn't want to have you, or what happens if it rains, or what happens if that, or what happens if this. A lot of that gets taken off the table. Having a place to go with a ring that's already set up for you, that should be Indie Wrestling 101 there. Okay, so all the indie companies out there, I don't mean to put you down or to talk smack about you. I want wrestling to succeed as a whole. Okay, if you're not following Aftermath Pro's formula, wake up. Okay, because they have just started and they're already ahead of a lot of you. Okay, so that's what I want to say about Aftermath Pro is that you guys are way ahead of the curve on a lot of stuff, and as soon as people start seeing you, it's going to catch fire quick. You guys are just starting out. Believe me, when I started out my podcast, it was very slow, and even if you guys start out a little bit slow, as soon as you guys catch fire, it's going to go quick. So that's why I'm glad to have you on here, because then I can hit you up once you're a big star, and I can be like, hey, you remember I had you on an episode before you were big, so you got to come back now that you're big.
I appreciate that. It's been a really amazing journey with Aftermath Pro, opening up the school and having multiple dates already out, even though I can't remember them. Multiple dates already confirmed for Aftermath Pro. It's something that I never expected happening since I started day one, and those things came and gone, and we finally built Aftermath as quick as it has. It's been amazing.
If I could ask you about that, then about the building of Aftermath Pro, you and Brox Boulder, you have this idea. Maybe others are involved.
Mm-hmm.
You have this idea. What took you from the idea to putting it in practice? And this is not a trick question.
I think what gave us the idea was the thought of Brox. Let's backtrack a little bit. Brox ran another company, and things happen, business happens, life happens, and that went somewhere. And we decided, well, we have the skills, we have the experience, and Brox did this. I say that I had something to do with it, but if anything, I'm there in spirit, but I do everything I can to help. He opened up Aftermath Pro with Bobby Blaze and allows me to help the students and upcoming people and any way I can. That it's really the idea just came of, let's see if we can, and I think we did pretty well.
Yeah, and then you guys tried. That's what I was trying to get to there. That you guys had this idea, but then it took, taking the idea and making it real. That takes the work that you guys put in order to get to where you were. And I don't mean just in the business, for Aftermath Pro, but I mean just you as a wrestler, right? You didn't get to where you are. You didn't start where you were. You had to work to get to where you are. So it takes dedication, time, and work to do anything that you want to do and make it something legitimate. People get tired after 5 minutes. They post one video, they do one match, and they're not a big star, and that's it. Oh, they're disparaged, they're discouraged. It's not because it happens for 1 out of every million people. Doesn't mean that you're going to be that 1 out of a million. You got to plan to be one of the others, and that you're going to have to work your way up the ladder in order to reach success.
Yeah, it's dedication, it's trying, and it's also just who you surround yourself with. Aftermath Pro and myself are very fortunate to have a amazing support group, whether it's the announcers, whether it's the commentary, whether it's the referees, the roster itself. Our roster, and maybe there's some bias to it, isn't just the best around, but it's continually gets better because we're bringing in people who are good. We don't gatekeep. We don't have egos. We just try to put on the best event we can.
And I think that's a big thing too, like trying to gatekeep or trying to, get exclusive wrestlers or anything like that, I think is, not the way to go. Let wrestlers, go around, let them be seen. We have on Wednesday, I'm looking for his work name. Hold on. So I don't have to give it a shoot.
Chad Casey.
Chad Casey. Yes, Chad Casey. We're having him on Wednesday. I have to assume that this is the self-proclaimed, and we'll talk about this, Chad. If you're tuning into this episode, we will talk about your self-proclaimed savior.
That's what he says.
Title. Yeah, savior of wrestling, Chad Casey. We'll talk about that. But yeah, we have him coming on Wednesday, and we'll be releasing that episode Friday. Anybody who's watching this, it's Wednesday that you're seeing this. We shot it on Monday. This was just a recorded episode. But we're hopefully going to have Titan Troy back, as well as several others from Aftermath Pro. Only 2 have hit me up, but hopefully after they see you and Chad Casey come on, hopefully a couple more will reach out and come on in episode 2 so that they can talk about themselves and showcase themselves like that. All right, last question that I want to ask you. What's your finisher?
The fun thing with me, I have 2.
All
but
right.
I'm not like a lot of people that come up with a fancy name. I've been working on it, but I'm not creative at all. I have the Northern Light Suplex. It was given to me by Bobby Blaze himself as the master of the Northern Light Suplex.
Okay.
And the other one is a variation of Buddy Murphy's finish, Murphy's Law.
Okay. All right. I always like to ask a fan question at the end. So that's always my fan question for indie wrestlers, because I don't get to see a lot of you guys, online and stuff. So I always ask about your finishers. What are your finishers?
Yeah.
That's always been my, finish. Your wrestler, you got to have a finisher, right? Some of the wrestlers that didn't have a good finisher, or at least a named finisher, and it always seemed weird to me. So I'll work on that though. I'm good at branding. So I'm going to think of a name for your Northern Light Suplex. All right. I'm going to work on that. We're going to come up with something for it. All right. And then we'll get you a whole shirt design and everything.
Yeah. I have to get something like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're a grappler, right? So we can make you the next Chad Gable. Let me work with that. I'm going to work with that. We're going to spitball some stuff.
Oh, I love Chad Gable.
Yeah.
My go-to.
Yeah. You mentioned that because of the match with Grande Americano. And people who don't know this by now, Chad Gable is Americano Grande, or whatever his name was. So I get it wrong. I can't. I've tried.
Now he's gonna go back to Shorty G. He's just stuck with that.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Oh okay. Now you're just talking shit. Okay, good. I thought maybe you knew something. I was like, oh really? All right, that's good. So yeah, thanks for coming on, dude. Like I said, you're always welcome to come back anytime you're doing another show, whether it's for Aftermath Pro or anybody else, dude. If you want to come on and promote the show and hype the show, come back on. If you need any help with any merchandising, you definitely hit me up. We're friends on Facebook now, so keep the door open and let's chat and continue to collaborate.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Now to go check out Titan Troy on Facebook. I didn't catch your Instagram. You want to say it for everybody one more time?
It was Grappling God Titan Troy on Instagram. Should pop right up.
And then just Titan Troy on Facebook. If you want to follow his page on Facebook, so go follow him. We will also be sharing them out on the Facebook page, Mayhem's Facebook page as well. So go follow him and tell him Mayhem Media sent you. I always like when people tell people that I sent them. So tell them Mayhem Media sent you. Until next time, this is for the three-time reigning three-time. I want to say that he's not a previous. He's currently a 3-time reigning tag team champion for American Pro Wrestling, Route 33.
Triple Crown.
And Extreme Valley Wrestling, and soon to be with him and Brock Boulder, they will also be Aftermath Pro tag team champions as well. So make sure you tune into those shows. And what was the YouTube? Where are you guys putting your YouTube stuff?
It'll be on Doc's Wrestling Library.
Okay, so everybody go check that out, and I'll make sure I get a link to that and share that out to everybody as well on the social media page. So make sure you go follow all of that stuff and go check it out. Get involved in indie wrestling. You're going to enjoy yourself. The shows are going to be better if you go to an indie show. I promise. Just do it. I am your host, the bad guy, JD, for Titan Troy from Aftermath Pro Wrestling. That's the end.